Hello, I'm Dr. Karen Bierman, and I'm a clinical psychologist. I have offices in San Antonio and Bulverde, Texas, and thank you for having me as part of today's program. The topic that I'm speaking on is balancing work and family life, which I think is something all of us can benefit from and something that all of us struggle with. And just a little bit about, when you become a parent, everything changes. Things suddenly are not as simple as they used to be. New responsibilities emerge. You need to adapt to changes in your lifestyle and to new demands on your schedule. There are financial strains, financial changes, the cost related to raising a family. Not enough hours in the day to work at your job and to spend with your family. And then, of course, difficulty finding time for your children. And the real difficulty is in finding balance. And that's the focus of my talk today. And the first part is the crucial decision, as far as working mothers, going back to work or staying at home, what the finances allow. You might want to talk to other parents, or working parents about what decisions they have made and how things have worked out for them. List what you love about your job. Make a list of all the pros. And talk to your partner about his or her views on the issues, and keep work options open for as long as you can. And if you do, the other part of the critical decision is considering your child's needs. Every child is different, every family is different, and being able to find the right balance between your financial needs and your work needs. And your need to get out of the house and be involved in the community and in professional activities. But of course, once you've had children, everything changes, and you may not have the ability to be as involved as you used to, or have the time to be that involved. Be aware of your child's special needs. Every child has different needs, and their needs constantly change, from infancy through toddlers, when they become into kindergarten and the elementary school years, middle school and high school, their needs change. Understand your child's emotional needs, as far as feeling nurtured and supported and loved, by his or her parents, and then also needs, for social interaction and academic needs that he or she'll get, in daycare or in the school system. Remain sensitive to the needs of your relationship with your child, as far as quality time and nurturing, and what you need to do for your child. Balancing all three can be a very, very big challenge, and to expect that you can just balance it all and figure it all out and get it all right, every day or in a week or in a month is just not realistic. And just accepting that you can't, be everything to everybody is certainly helpful, and that'll take some of the pressure off, I hope. And then also, in making your decisions, don't assume stereotypes. Don't assume that working moms or working parents don't get to spend enough time with their children, and that they're in daycare from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also don't assume that working stay-at-home moms are bored, and that they have a life that doesn't have as much meaning. Everybody makes it up. You make it up as you go along, and whatever works for your family. And people make decisions that are best for their family and their children, and that's what you need to do as well. And some other tips are just being really honest about your time and your limitations and your abilities and your capacities as far as being a working parent, and then your parenting abilities and capacities and what you need. Be aware of your energy level. If your energy level gets too low, then you won't have anything left for anybody, your job or your family. So it's really important that you take good care of yourself. I like to give the analogy, when we're flying on an airplane, the flight attendant will instruct you to put the oxygen mask on your face first before your child. And that's certainly a good metaphor for how we should go through life, as a parent or a working parent or anybody. But if taking care of yourself first, so that you are able to give back to other people and take care of them. And then just be realistic about your available options. And some of your options are, working part-time, job sharing, freelancing, starting your own business, flex working, compressed hours, depending on what company and how family friendly they are, and vacation packages. Those are just different things to consider. I highly recommend building a social support network. This is absolutely important for everybody. Social support is associated with less depression, less anxiety, better health outcomes. So you'll feel better being in your community. Get to know your neighbors. Get involved in local church events or ministries, or get involved in other community opportunities, volunteering. Other areas of interest. If you like gardening, get involved with a garden club, or if you like music, whatever your passions and interests are, get involved and then you have more, a fuller life, and then more to bring to your family as well. Get to know your bosses and work colleagues, and also with working parents, and non-working parents, have a backup, as far as child care. When you have appointments, always have a backup, because things can always fall through. And another piece I think is important to talk about is guilt. Letting go of guilt. I think a lot of working parents have a lot of guilt, feeling that they should be with their child or children all 24 hours a day, and they suffer a lot of guilt to go to work. But if you have your reasons, financial reasons, or that's just what you enjoy doing, it's important to let go of that guilt, because it's not really a productive emotion. Obviously, easier said than done, but that's not going to be real helpful or productive. It's also important to establish limits and boundaries. Boundaries are those imaginary lines between you and the rest of the world. You need to learn to say no. Don't take on too much. That's where you can get into trouble. Spend all your energy on other people and have nothing left for yourself or your family. Be aware of your responsibilities, what you can and cannot do, and take charge of your time. Have a calendar where you keep track of your schedule, your work obligations, your meetings, when you're blocking out time to work on a presentation. Also have a family schedule, like on the refrigerator door, with everybody's activities. I know as children get older, there are more and more activities. There could be soccer practice and ballet and basketball and all the sports that go on. And just kind of determine your own standards. Accept that you cannot be all things to everybody. And don't try to be a perfectionist. Just do the best that you can do for you and your family, and stand by your decisions. Develop effective compromises between the different demands of your time, and live by your own standards, not anybody else's. And finally, the most important tip, I think I've touched on this already, make time for yourself. You cannot take proper care of others if you don't take care of yourself. And find ways to relax and reduce stress, get enough sleep and exercise, and take really good care of yourself, and also have family rituals, things that you're going to do with your family.